Leeching a lot of big shots here, trying to control the wrist, but may need to defend the strikes.
The UFC is a war zone with every fighter trying to get a piece of each other to come out on top. However, there's this one fighter that doesn't seem to get an opponent good enough for him. He's none other than Khamzat Chimaev. But what makes him so different? Stick around to find out. Before we begin, subscribe to Brawler's Central and hit the bell icon to keep up to date on the thrilling content from our channel. Fitness in the world of mixed martial arts is maybe 50% of the package. The other 50% is that fighting spirit and killer instinct. This is what Khamzat Chimaev brings to the table. Boaz is dangerous to anyone, and his intimidating aura forces even the most talented fighters to cower. Despite how talented and brutal Chimaev is, he has only one problem in the UFC. The man just can't find an opponent. Any slight mistake during a fight could result in either walking away with a check or getting rolled out on a stretcher. If you are going up against someone that hits like a truck, has an iron chin, and continuously applies pressure by moving towards you after eating your strongest punch, you'd be silly not to be a little hesitant about whether you will win the fight. If there was any doubt about Chimaev's skills, the matchup with Kevin Holland cleared it. Holland didn't even get an opportunity to deliver a single punch or kick throughout the contest, which ended in round 1. Chimaev forced Holland to tap out with 2 minutes 3 seconds left in the first round. Right from when the bell went off, Chimaev controlled the fight. He took Holland down within seconds and dominated him on the canvas before finally locking a Darce choke to end the fight. Boaz remains undefeated in MMA with a record of 12 wins. There can never be a boring fight with Chimaev, as the Chechnyan native knows how to entertain and captivate the audience. Beyond just defeating his opponents, Chimaev is brutal, and his goal is to destroy everyone and everything in his path. Chimaev grew up in Chechnya, Russia, and had a rough childhood. Rather than allowing the circumstances of his birth to limit him, Khamzat poured out all his energy into a combat sport. At the age of 5, he was already involved in wrestling. His Russian background also made it easier for him by providing the right platforms. Presently, Russia is the most dominant nation in wrestling around the globe. While fighting as a youth, Chimaev dominated the game and was awarded the Junior Russian National Championships title. His stay in Chechnya was cut short when his mother migrated with him to Sweden to stay with his brother. At this time, Chimaev was already 18 years old and his passion for the sport soared. Chimaev participated in more competitions and won 3 Swedish national championships. Chimaev had built skills and was ready to let the world know about it. His devastating skills also stand out from all other fighters in the UFC. The 29-year-old is famous for his takedowns. Any fighter who shares the octagon with him must deal with his low shots and consistent leg attack. After attacking the opponent, Chimaev quickly goes for double underhooks. A successful takedown is often followed up by grappling. Being a master grappler, Chimaev locks his opponent in. His submissions are also worth mentioning, particularly his Darce. He has used this technical skill to finish up 4 opponents. Chimaev also has an exceptional KO ability, and his punches are one of a kind. Khamzat has a lot of power in his right hand and often uses his left hand to intimidate opponents with jabs. Chimaev does his best to vary the angle on his right to reduce his predictability. He also enjoys flurrying along the fence before landing a clinch. In most fights, he goes for a takedown from the fence. You can almost tell how his fight will start. Immediately, Chimaev steps to his opponent with a major swing, a big punch or a high kick. There has only been one exception to this trend: the fight with Gerald Meerschaert. However, it only turned out that way because of Gerald's slow response, and Chimaev took advantage of it by knocking him out immediately. From the start of his career, Khamzat has always shown talent, drive, and fighting instincts. Every fighter needs this to be a champion and to dominate in the promotion. Most of Chimaev's records display perfection. He has an undefeated amateur MMA record of 3-0. Before turning pro, he earned another smooth record of 6-0. Now in the UFC, Chimaev has maintained a winning streak of 12-0. If you have followed Chimaev from his amateur days, you would agree that he has consistently improved with every fight. He owes part of his growth to his training routine, where he puts in an impressive amount of work behind the scene. Chimaev works harder than a lot of fighters. We all know that you can be better than the efforts you put into training. Chimaev does 5 sessions a day. On training days, he only fights, eats, and sleeps. Bour's teammates have reported that the Russian fighter hardly gets tired. He is a machine, efficient but deadly. Another shocking fact about Chimaev is that he does not wait for a matchup before he takes his training seriously. While waiting for the UFC to give him a fight, the man has been busy with training camp. He is simply prepared for any challenge, a trend that is not common among other fighters. Chimaev is training under head coach Andreas Michael at the All-Star Training Center in Stockholm, Sweden. Andreas has a wealth of experience as a coach and has trained other MMA fighters such as Alexander Gustafsson and Ilia Latifi. Andreas has had a major influence in Chimaev's career. Meanwhile, Alan Fenfu Nascimento is responsible for Chimaev's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has served as Chimaev's Jiu-Jitsu coach for a couple of years and has helped Chimaev to upgrade his skill. Besides fellow UFC fighters, other top MMA personalities such as Daniel Cormier are also scared of Khamzat Chimaev. DC described the Chechen-born mauler as the scariest contender ever to grace the UFC. Coming from a UFC veteran, it should not be taken lightly. Joe Rogan also called Chimaev a monster in the promotion. Khamzat ragdolls people and talks shit while he's doing it, Joe Rogan said. Ragdolling of opponents has been a common factor in most of his fights. No one ever expected that he would be able to defeat Gilbert Burns. The Chimaev-Burns fight was an electrifying fight and a testament to his ability. Chimaev defeated Burns unanimously at the Vista Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville, Florida. In the first round, Chimaev took the fight to the ground like he always does. However, Burns was ready for war. Gilbert grappled to return to his feet, giving him the upper hand. A powerful blow from Chimaev sent Burns to the canvas towards the end of round 1. The Russian fighter followed it up with more onslaughts. Chimaev and Burns exchanged strikes in the second round and had their key moments. When the round was almost ending, Chimaev stunned Burns, but he reacted with a more devastating punch that sent the Chechen native to the floor. The fight continued till round 3, and the pair kept trading blows. Gilbert Burns was one of the biggest tests in Chimaev's career, and his victory made him even more dreaded among other fighters. Georges St-Pierre claimed that Chimaev had skills that he easily showcased in the ring. GSP believes that Chimaev has all it takes to win a title. Yes, Khamzat is very good. He's got all the skills. He's very good, and he showcased incredible durability and great mental strength in his last fight with Gilbert Burns, because he was pushed to the limit, and that's when you recognize a true warrior, a true champion, than a contender. When faced with those moments of adversity, some collapse but some push through and succeed, GSP commented, "Is Chimaev as scary as he poses to be?" Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification to see more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.